Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Real Estate Agent Rehab. And my name is Amir and
my name is Vance. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, so today we have an interesting topic. So we kind of started off, obviously last podcast talking about, how to make your way back into post-pandemic market. So kind of getting back into the swing of things, and we touched on a lot of things. And since then, some things have changed. This market's moving very rapidly. So we want to continue on that topic, but talk more about the matrices of the market and how to kind of make it move. And as an agent, it's a struggle right now because inventory levels are down, interest rates are higher, so it's this constant struggle of trying to get people to afford housing in a market where housing is expensive. And there are multiple offers on properties. Still very similar to the COVID market, where we thought things were going to definitely slow down and a lot more inventory was going to come up, but obviously that hasn't happened. And is the rate need to get higher? We don't know. Is it going to get lower? We don't know. But we do know is what's going on currently and what's happened in the past, right? And historically what's been going on. So
there's a saying I use all the time. It doesn't matter what I think, it's what I know. Mm-hmm. And we can only talk about what we know and talk the metrics and things to that effect. And like you said, inventory is way down. Mm-hmm. I mean, folks, imagine 25% of what it was pre-pandemic. Mm-hmm. Right? So in 2009, we had 4 million houses on the market. And today, currently, we have just over 900,000 nationally.
Now 4 million, is that nationwide?
Yes.
I'm assuming, so nationwide. And so
4 million nationwide, 900,000 nationwide today.
That's crazy to even think about that.
That's staggering. Okay, now here's the thing though. In 2009, we were still 500,000 homes behind where we needed to be.
Oh wow. That's crazy to think about now. So
think about that.
Yeah.
Okay? That's where people are saying, like, why are, interest rates are high. Why are houses selling so quickly? Because if they're priced properly and people see value in it, they're jumping on it because there are buyers out there. Mm-hmm. And that's what we need to understand as agents.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, what we don't take into consideration is like what these numbers are in the past, and we just kind of blame the market and just are just done and not look at, and then you look at yourselves and think, well, maybe not, I'm not cut out for this job because I can't succeed. Everything's too hard. This is a hard job. Well, yeah, it is a hard job, but if there are certain things that you can do and certain things that you can work on as a real estate professional, kind of bring yourself up to certain levels during these times. I mean, even now that the office, our real estate office is slow. So what are we doing? We're trimming the fat. We're setting up ourselves for the market to kind of come back and the inventory levels to come back. So we're cleaning house. We're reorganizing things. We're shuffling things around and kind of bettering our internals to make ourselves better and stronger now that we have the time to kind of sit back and actually focus on those things.
It's efficiency.
Exactly.
And right now, the more efficient we run our companies, the more stable they're going to be for the future. For a couple of years there, we were able to just kind of run at will, and hey, it's gonna happen. We, our old joke, right? It's only an escrow, right? It's one escrow away, and we were always able to do that. Now we're looking at that as going, that's the escrow. Like we got to make that one work,
and making sure that we're getting those houses sold and those listings sold.
Exactly.
Are more important than ever. Not letting go of listings is huge. And when you're thinking as an agent, how does that, what can I do? And what's funny is there's so much out there as an agent. Like I think from when you started, and definitely when I started, there's so much more content and more training and more coaching and more things that are available. Free stuff. A lot of stuff is
tons of free information
that can help you kind of work out your real estate muscles, so to speak, to kind of get yourself ready for when things kind of pick up back again. And I think we'll talk a little bit about like what are some things that the agents are doing right now.
I mean, right now, big thing as an agent is you need to educate yourself. As much as the brokerage is offering you, training and whatnot. There's so much more to the real estate industry that you can learn outside. And one of the main things that I'm looking at is all the board classes that all the Board of Realtors run. And they offer tremendous amounts of really good content, high-end classes that agents can go and really kind of hone in and find what makes them tick. Because real estate is not just a one-trick pony. There's 100 ways you can do this business. And by educating yourself and really learning the fundamentals of the business and getting really good at it. You hear me talk a lot about the fundamentals, and I always talk about Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, who both, all they ever preached were master the fundamentals, right? And that's what makes you, the great. Hone the craft and really step in on what you want to learn.
One thing I want to touch on, your designations. We were just talking before the show, and designations, like how powerful when we were saying your designations. Share with us the designations, like stuff that you can get through your local board or for your state board and things. Do these designations, as boring as it sometimes may sound, but when you say them, they're just really powerful. When you're sitting in a listing presentation or meeting with a client.
Like anything, when you're dealing with somebody in a professional level that's licensed to handle a specific task, most people would like to know that they have a little extra training. And right now, there are 3 designations that the Board of Realtors offers, or NAR offers, which is the ABR, which is the Associate Buyer's Representative, the RENE, which is the Real Estate Negotiation Expert certification, and then the SRS, which is the Seller's Representative. Now, a lot of times as an agent, we say, someone says, what sets you apart from the last guy who came in here? And if you can lay designations on them and say, look, I am an Associate Buyer's Representative. I have a degree in negotiating. I have a certification in how to sell homes. That might be a lot different than what the last person came in and what any other agent came in to do, because most people do not have all 3. And it's really kind of the trifecta of credentials. There's also the elder care one, which is a great one.
There's a probate one.
There's a ton. And
commercial property management, there's a bunch. If you look them up on NAR, or we're with in California, so CAR.
Right.
These are the types of things that you can kind of get added on to your license that can definitely set you apart and actually help you grow as an individual. It's the education that's very critical right now.
And it puts you in touch with that market. All right, so if you're going and getting your designation on probate or trust or what have you, now you're introduced to that market, so you know what it looks like. Within that market, within those designations, they teach you how to prospect within them and prospect for the business. All right, so there's a whole piece to it, and I urge anybody who's in this business, you should really start buckling down and getting these designations for yourself. I'm such a strong proponent in it. I'm actually getting licensed to train these designations next year.
Oh, very cool.
So I'm going to be actually doing these as well. So there's a lot coming down the pike with all this stuff. And the bottom line is the more educated the agent is, the better. But you got to execute. Okay.
Execution, accountability, obviously, is another one. If you're not doing the work and then having some sort of accountability, either with yourself, with a coworker, or with a coach, what's the point? If you have to set yourself up for success, and that means obviously starting with some sort of business plan. You've got to create a plan to say, okay, I want to sell X amount of houses in this amount of time, and some of these are going to be listings, some of these are going to be buyers, maybe all of them are going to be listings, and you got to follow that plan and work towards that every single day. And what happens is we love to dream. I think a lot of us are dreamers. by nature. I think we're procrastinators too by nature, because this is our probably like a second, third, fourth, or fifth career, being that we're in real estate. Maybe we didn't get our degrees or become lawyers or doctors or whatever. So, you know, obviously we are entrepreneurs and we are dreamers, and we're in this trade. And, you know, creating this plan is the fun part, right? But doing the work is obviously not the fun part.
No, it's not. But it kind of is, all right? You know, when, you know, everybody tells me like prospect, and they don't like to prospect. I love to prospect, all right? The fact that I can pick up the phone and call somebody who's worth $25,000, $30,000, $50,000, that nobody has an opportunity like that to do that on a daily basis. And we as agents decide not to do it more often than we decide to do it. And that's frightening. And you know, a lot of that comes down to what we were talking about earlier about the agent failure rate. You know, it's right now there's an 85, almost 87% failure rate for agents in the first 2 years of the business. Why? Because they're not doing the fundamentals, they're not executing on the plan, and most importantly, they're thinking, I got my license, I'm going to be just like selling LA. These guys, you know, I'm just going to hang out at the club and people are going to come up and have me list their homes. Does that happen?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. You've been to clubs. Do people approach you at clubs and say, now's the time for me to sell my house? No. Okay.
Not at all.
Not in my clubs either. Okay. It's the daily work, and it's the work behind the scenes. It's the work that people don't see. And, you know, a lot of times what we see on social media, when we see on YouTube and all these things, are that top 10%. It's the, hey, I just got the listing. It's not the, I made 500 phone calls before I got this listing.
We celebrate all the successes in real estate, especially in social media, but we don't celebrate the hard work or show the hard work and everything that it entails to get to where you are. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. And sometimes people want to get into business, they like real estate, or they're into decor or whatever the case may be, but it's a sales job. You know, it's a business within the business. And that's what I tell everybody. So if you're really good at entrepreneurship and you want to work hard every day and you want to grind and set goals, you'll get to the next level. If you don't, you'll just be one of these statistics of the 85 to 87% that don't succeed. And you know, we're on here trying to make sure, we want you guys to succeed. And that's why we're doing this, because we want you to realize, you know, what the business really is and how you can help yourself grow in this industry, right?
The funny thing about this is, you know, I'm a coach. We have a coaching program within our brokerage. We all coach with other people. Every coaching system out there is put together to keep agents in the business, not push them out. But there's only a handful of agents every year that actually plug into coaching and say, you know what, how do I do this? What do I need to do? And that's this 87%. That's that 13% survival rate, right? There's 5%, no matter what they do, they're gonna rise to the top. But that other 7-8%, that's where we can help. And what we would like to do, and I know Amir and myself, I would love to see this number 87, 75%. Okay, and all it takes is an agent to plug in, really dial in their business, sit down with a coach, talk about setting up an accountability session, and really dialing in for themselves. Right? You're not working for anybody but yourself. And to blame anybody on your failures is simply a failure in itself. But there's plenty to do. There's plenty of business out there right now. I mean, there's buyers.
There are
sellers.
There are a lot of buyers. And there's not enough sellers. And so, you know, that's when going back to what they can do now. So what are we going to do now in this current market? So we talked about education, we're talking about creating a plan, we're talking about accountability, obviously doing the work, and in this day and age, it's so great that we have different ways to do work, right?
That's right.
To do the prospecting, and that's what's beautiful about technology. It's made everything easier for you guys, between obviously, you know, social media, the internet, even different sources of how to get leads if you want to invest and pay for leads, or being able to mass text or mass email, or, you know, companies that do mailers and do different things to market on your behalf. So we can use that to our advantage currently.
Yeah,
which we couldn't do 10, 15, 20 years ago.
We have,
right?
we have so many resources at our fingertips. It almost gets to the point that it's too much. And you know, 3 choices, I can't make up my mind, I'll think about it tomorrow. And when we have so many things that we can do, sometimes we get jumbled up in the fact that I can't figure out which one to do. That's where you sit down with the coach, you pick your topic, you pick your lane, and you run in that lane until you see the result, and you will see the result. Something I always put in with everything is don't forget to have fun. Right? We all got into this business to have fun, make some money, do the right thing, and the more fun you're having, and you know, enjoying yourself, going to work every day, it's not a grind. Okay, this business is supposed to be enjoyable, right? If it's not, think about why not. Okay, and probably, you know, chances are, if you're not enjoying the business, you don't have business.
And one thing I tell a lot of agents, a lot of people in sales is that, you know what, like sometimes you're gonna have bad days and you're gonna have good days, okay? And you might have a bad week, right? Sometimes you have a bad month, right? And that's okay. But those bad months and those bad days and those bad weeks take you one step closer to those good months and those good weeks and those good days. You know, you might hear a bunch of no's and people slamming doors on your face, and that's okay, but just little by little, you're chipping away to getting closer to that yes. And when you get that yes, obviously you have to be prepared for that yes, but it's going to be such a great feeling of success. And hey, I stuck with it, I persevered, I had the stamina, I outworked my competition to get to that yes.
Yep, look at you getting all optimistic on us, man. That's awesome.
It's true.
It's absolutely true.
And I see it happening, you know, all the time right now. And that's all I want for you guys is to not lose focus and faith in this business. And that's what I tell, you know, all you guys, all my realtors, don't lose faith. Stick in it to win it. If you make it through these times, if you make it through this market, you can make it anywhere. And you'll just be that much stronger than the competition.
Absolutely. You'll be better. This market today will make you better tomorrow, period. I made it through 2009. It was the most horrendous time of real estate. And anybody you talk to about that time, they go, oh yeah, so you get it. And folks, right now, you're in that next stage. Now you get it. We got to work hard. We got to buckle down. We got to learn the fundamentals, and we have to hold ourselves accountable more than anything.
Absolutely. So I think that concludes our episode for today. I want to thank you guys for watching and tuning in. And we're looking forward, we're going to be doing these at least once a month, maybe twice a month. So make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions. We will be checking our posts and videos. Thank you for watching. And
thank you, folks. Appreciate your time. Vance Mizzy, as always, have fun out there. It's the only way to do this business.